Sorry about that, guys. This is evolution. The second PowerPoint continued. Slide 40, you're going to see a picture of what we call a peppered moth and a picture of something that loves to eat the moth, the Say's phoebe, a bird. When pollution increased, the trees got darker. So I want you to imagine what happened over time. Initially, the trees were light in color without pollution, and so the light-colored moths were favored because they could not be easily seen by the Say's phoebe, by the birds as they flew by, and so they didn't get eaten. But with the pollution from new coal factories and things like that, then gradually over time the trees darkened. And all of a sudden, we had a situation where the darker moths were favored. This is what we call industrial melanism, where you actually had a change in pigmentation that was favored by something that industry, the pollution from industry, had caused. Slide 41 talks about descent with modification, and what that means is that each living species is descended with changes from other species over a very long period of time. Another concept of evolution that Darwin proposed was common descent, where he said all living organisms are related to one another. If you look at slides 43, 44, and 45, it repeats much of this. One of our biggest evidences of natural selection is the evidence that we find in artificial selection. This is when nature has provided variation among different organisms, and humans decide which of those variations are the most useful. And by those means, we actually took a weed called wild mustard and created all the vegetables that you see in slide 42. There are many evidences for evolution. The fossil record, and remember, there are many, many types of fossils, and we have what are called index fossils. They're very consistent. They're usually found in the same sedimentary rock layers, and they're used to establish the age, these index fossils, of a particular layer of rock. Geographic distribution of living things worldwide. Similar environments tend to have similar types of organisms. Homologous body structures. We have different mature forms in different organisms that develop from the same embryonic tissue. And make sure that you look at slide 53 and 54 and really study slide 55 and 56. Analogous says that you appear similar, but you have a different ancestry. We also see similarities in early development, in other words, in the study of embryology. Between closely related species, they have structures that have no purpose and are not present in the adult. For example, all vertebrate, including us, all vertebrates have gill slits and tails expressed as embryos, even though those characteristics disappear as we mature. Biochemistry shows many, many relations. DNA with more similar sequences suggests that species are more closely related. For example, and this is really wild, humans and chimpanzees have more than 98% identical DNA. If you look at slide 76, you can see a comparison of hemoglobin. 77, cytochrome C. 78, another comparison. So if you go to slide 58, we talk about vestigial organs. And these are common in the ancestor, but they serve no function currently in the organism that possess it. All the slides, 59 through 71, those show all vestigial structures. There is a summary of the theory found in 79 through 83. We've talked about sickle cell anemia and the advantage that the heterozygote condition gives us. Remember, if you are homozygous, big S, you will not get sickle cell, but you could die from malaria. If you're little s, you're not going to die of malaria, but you could die of sickle cell. But if you are heterozygous, big S, then you're not going to die from either one. You just have sickle cell trait. And slides 87 and 88 have other examples.